What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Gakis, and today we have some massive news that just dropped involving Bungie, and more specifically their new game Marathon. Guys, Marathon has just been delayed indefinitely. So we're going to go over exactly what Bungie's announcement says, and we're going to talk about it because in the background gameplay, that's my gameplay. That is me playing Marathon. I did get access to the alpha, so I've got some thoughts on what the heck happened here, so let's get started. So, first off, let's go over what exactly Bungie has said about this situation. They released a Marathon development update saying, "Thank you not only for your passionate feedback around the Marathon reveal and alpha playtest," passionate to put it lightly, but also for your patience while we took the time to listen closely and chart our next steps. Through every comment and real-time conversation on social media and Discord, your voice has been strong and clear. We've taken this to heart, and we know we need more time to craft Marathon into the game that truly reflects your passion. After much discussion with our dev team, we've made the decision to delay the September 23rd release. The alpha test created an opportunity for us to calibrate and focus the game on what will make it uniquely compelling: survival under pressure, mystery, and lore around every corner, raid-like endgame challenges, and Bungie's genre-defining FPS combat. We'll come back to that statement there in a sec. We're using this time to empower the team to create the intense, high-stakes experiences that a title like Marathon is built around. This means deepening the relationship between the developers and the game's most important voices, our players. Over the next few months, we'll continue closed testing, including participants from the alpha, to deploy gameplay updates and test new features as they come online. Some of our immediate focus areas will be, so this is what Bungie is saying they're going to change about Marathon. First of all, upping the survival game. More challenging and engaging AI encounters, more rewarding runs with new types of loot and dynamic events, making combat more tense and strategic. Then the next main point is doubling down on the Marathon universe. Increased visual fidelity, more narrative and environmental storytelling to discover and interact with, and a darker tone that delivers on the themes of the original trilogy. And the final point here is adding more social experiences. A better player experience for solo and duos, and prox chat so social stories can come to life. And they end here with, "You'll hear from us again later this fall when we can share the progress we've made alongside the game's new release date. Thank you again for your patience and, much more importantly, your passion. Your continued feedback will help us make Marathon an incredible gaming experience we all know it can be." So, that is crazy, right? Like, this came out of nowhere, and if you want to know how crazy this really is, this tweet from Paul Tassi indicates that he is being contacted by some of his Bungie inside sources that they are just finding out about the reveal now with this breaking news. So when Bungie says they contacted the development team, maybe they weren't talking to all of them about this delay, if you know what I'm saying, right? So this is, again, pretty crazy information. Now, let's go over what happened to Marathon. Frankly, my experience playing the game, completely honest, is this. I had genuine fun in Marathon. I was playing with friends. There are some fun, intense moments. I do not think this is a terrible game. But I also completely lost the will to play a couple of days in. It just didn't captivate me. It just didn't have that wow factor. And so, again, I don't think it is as bad as a lot of people are making it seem like it is. You can't just launch mediocrity anymore. With how competitive the gaming market, the gaming ecosystem is, if you are especially charging a premium, and Bungie did say, the Marathon team did say that you were going to have to pay money, likely around $40. Like, they said it wasn't going to be a full priced release, but again, likely around that $40 price tag to buy a game that's just mediocre. That's just not going to cut it these days. We have free-to-play experiences out there that are absolutely insane. So again, mediocrity for money is not going to fly. On top of that, it was just like the most insane alignment of planets against Marathon that also happened at the exact same time the Marathon Alpha was happening. And again, people were kind of positive, kind of negative. It was mixed. Suddenly, Arc Raiders, another futuristic extraction shooter, launches its playtest, and everyone likes it way more. The reception to Arc Raiders was immensely more positive than Marathon's reception. So already you have a direct comparison, a direct competitor that people are much more favorable towards. And so again, that just made Marathon's favorability fall even more. People who are maybe middle of the road on Marathon went over and enjoyed Arc Raiders way more, and that just doubled the negativity for Marathon. And then finally, frankly, the nail in the coffin was a massive scandal broke that Marathon had stolen significant elements of its art direction from a small independent artist. Guys, I made a full video breaking down the entire art scandal and like everything that was going on. Definitely check that out, linked up above if you didn't see that, if you're unaware of that. But like any remaining positivity for Marathon, once people found out that, again, significant portions of the best part about Marathon, its art direction, were stolen, it was over. Like, again, it was already receiving middling reception. People weren't blown away by Marathon, at least overall. If you're someone who had genuine fun with Marathon, again, I had genuine fun with Marathon for a couple solid days, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I am talking about the overall community perception, the overall echoing sentiment about this game was middle of the road at best, and then suddenly you have this direct competitor that gets much more positive reception, and then the one thing that everyone praises the game for, its art direction, is stolen. Like, the negativity around this game just went nuclear, and you can't launch a game like that, right? Like, any chance Marathon had, once the art scandal broke, once Asmongold has made a video and all these people have made a video, and like those videos are gonna happen, of course, because it's a massive scandal. I made a video, so I'm not indicting anyone who made videos on this scandal, but once the public is made aware of this negativity, it just doesn't go away, and it's not a good time to launch a game, especially a game that has middling reception into that environment. It's just not gonna go well, right? So overall, what do I think about this delay? Well, I think the delay had to happen. Like, if they would have just launched the game as is into the firestorm of negativity that they had created, and I know some people think that Marathon was treated unfairly and people were being overly negative, and I'm sure that's true, but like, no one made Bungie steal those art assets. That was Bungie. And it's also a situation where, okay, yeah, someone may have gotten the wrong impression of Marathon, and maybe if they actually played the game, they would enjoy it, but it almost doesn't matter. It's the customer, and, in some ways, the customer is always right. If people just get a negative perception from Marathon from one single tweet they see and decide not to buy it, that might be totally unfair, but that's the reality of the situation. Like, that's just something Bungie has to overcome. And so, regardless of if you think the negativity was justified or not, it doesn't matter. It was there. It existed. And so, again, you can't launch a game in that environment. So, them going over in detail some bullet points of like, here's what we want to change. Honestly, I'm pretty happy to see that. Especially some of the biggest complaints from the community, right, were the missing features. You couldn't solo queue. Why? Oh, it's not designed around solo queue. It's not balanced around solo queue. Okay, balance it then. Like, this is a huge part of the extraction shooter experience, having a solo queue, being able to play solo. Requiring a fire team was just not it. And then combine that with the proximity chat. Guys, I am telling you here, and I'm not exaggerating, every single clip that went viral about Arc Raiders involved proximity chat. Every single one on my Twitter feed involved something hilarious about proximity chat. People making, a temporary alliance to fight a giant robot, someone's screaming reaction to a giant robot, like all of those viral, fun, funny, exciting moments. There was prox chat absolutely popping off in the background, and Marathon not having that was just a terrible idea. So the fact that they outright note that as like, we're looking to add this, great thing. Also, I really like them talking about more rewarding runs, new types of loot. That was something I also felt was really lacking. I would go in there and you'd have these pitched battles, you'd do these crazy events, and you'd come out with a purple gun. And the purple gun, why is it purple? It has a couple more attachments. And then you couldn't move around the attachments either. And so the loot just didn't feel engaging. It didn't feel fun. It didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I got something crazy we need to extract right now. Because the weapon that you can just buy from the black market little store to let you start around was like frankly just as good in 99% of the engagements. And this is coming from Bungie. These are the people who have been designing non-stop banger exotic weapons for 10 years in the Destiny franchise. Like they're still putting out cool exotics to this day. Like they almost always knock it out of the park with exotic weapons. Where are the exotic weapons in Marathon? That's what I want to be extracting. That's what I want to get excited about when I kill a crazy enemy AI boss in this public event style encounter, and he drops something completely unique that I've never seen before. Now we need to get the heck out. That's what this game, in my opinion, was missing. I didn't feel like I was super excited about farming a bunch of materials to get these slight upgrades. It was just boring. It didn't feel exciting. But again, the fact that Bungie has specifically listed my main complaints as things they're looking to address, it obviously means that they at least have actually been listening to player feedback. A lot of these bullet points are exactly the stuff I've been seeing involving people's complaints about Marathon. It's not, intense enough, it's not challenging enough, it needs to be more rewarding, it needs to have these social experiences. So I do think it's good we're seeing that here, but obviously, let's be honest here, this is not great for Marathon, right? I mean, obviously the best thing to happen for Marathon would have been if it comes out and it's super positive and everyone loves it and it launches and it's all good, right? And frankly, as a Destiny player, it's kind of like, of course, there's honestly, and it's almost a little bit unfair to Marathon, but I have to mention it, there was just built-in negativity to Marathon off the rip before it even launched, before anyone played it, just because people knew that Bungie was diverting resources away from Destiny 2, and often Destiny 2 needed it. When Bungie hit it out of the park and the game was at its best, right after the Witch Queen, instead of building upon that success, we kind of ran things with not a full interest and a full budget because all of his attention is going to this second game in development just for it to flop. And a lot of Destiny players, again, were just negative right off the rip, saying, can you just focus on the game we know we love and is successful? And now you have Marathon coming out, being middling, going through these crises and controversies, and now being delayed with no release date, right? It's an indefinite delay. We have no idea when it's now going to release. So again, Marathon has an uphill battle, for sure. It has an uphill battle, but I'll tell you this. In my opinion, again, this is the right move. They had no chance launching when they were going to launch. But now, if they come back, if they genuinely come back and they're like, we have fixed a lot of the complaints, we have done this change and this change. Oh, and there's solo queues, there's duo queues, there's prox chat, like all these changes. We've made brand new enemy types. We alien dragons that fly around and way more intense fighting and more intense public event style things and interesting loot and all this stuff. By the way, you can play it right now. Here's the beta. I think you could turn community sentiment around. If they really put their noses to the grindstone, make these changes, listen to player feedback, and come back with something fresh, something new, something that feels, exciting and different in this genre. People love to dogpile when things are negative, but people also love a success story. And there's been a lot of games out there, Lords of the Fallen is a great example, that have doubled down and they're like, no, we are going to actually fix our game. We are going to listen to community feedback, and they come back with a massively improved game and players love it. And they completely change their mind about a certain game. So it's very possible that Marathon can do that. Can they? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this interesting. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more marathon content, let me know in the comments down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.